In this episode, Andretti is partnering with Cadillac for F1, the FIA pays tribute to Ken Block, and the Dubai 24 Hours is this weekend. Welcome to episode 162 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rowell, it is the off-season. Do you know what that means?
It is getting towards the end of the off-season, more specifically.
It is, which means things actually start happening in the racing world.
Yes, they do.
Now, we're going to talk about something that's been happening for a while, but dropped some recent news that has some political implications.
I have a feeling I know what you're getting at.
So, Mr. Michael Andretti, from the IndyCar world,
Yes.
has decided to partner with GM and Cadillac specifically to try to get an F1 entry.
So Andretti has been trying to get into F1 for a while.
For a long time. Well, I shouldn't say a long time. I think it's been.
I was going to say, I would say a long time.
Yes, but publicly for not that long. For
Correct.
At least since the F1 race in Miami. Prior to that was the announcement. And there was some lobbying going on in the F1 paddock where Mr. Andretti was conversing with teams and trying to get a letter signed to try to get himself as an entry into the F1 scene.
Yes.
Now, F1 is very, very political. Probably the most political sporting thing I've ever seen.
I think it's pretty much there. Yeah.
Even the NFL, NBA, all the American sports are not as political as F1.
Yeah, F1 seems very backdoor deal friendly.
You know what might be more? European soccer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like UEFA.
European
Champion.
football.
Yeah.
That
Premiership
probably is more.
Football. Yeah.
But other than that, F1 seems to be very politically motivated, very money motivated, and it's expensive to run these cars. But
Insanely.
Andretti has experience running race cars.
Andretti has experience running a lot of race cars. He's raced Indy for many years. His family also had been involved in F1 many years ago. He's been in IMSA with some P2s. He's just etched another partnership with an IMSA team, Wayne Taylor Racing, for GTP, which is the top class of the IMSA, International Motorsports Association.
Running a car from what manufacturer?
Acura, which happens to be Honda, which is not GM, because GM is... So, hold on. Andretti etched a partnership with Wayne Taylor Racing. That partnership runs an Acura, a Honda Performance, so HPD, right? But Andretti wants to go to F1 with a Cadillac. Cadillac is also running in that same series against Andretti's partnered team.
Odd.
I'm confused.
Andretti runs,
I'm just really confused.
from what I remember, Chevy engines over in Indy, right? And yes.
So I can see that tie.
I see that tie as well. That's perfectly fine. Why they went down the Wayne Taylor Racing Acura HPD thing's a little odd. But
They wanted to go to Le Mans.
Right, but Cadillac's running a DPA. Anyway.
Again, I don't know why they went that way. It just...
I don't know. Of all the American teams to try to run in F1, they might be the most qualified, but I do feel that they're also possibly pulling themselves in too many directions.
Yeah. I agree with you on both fronts. I actually think they're not just probably the most qualified. I think they're definitely the most qualified of all American teams to potentially even get into F1.
I can't see Chip Ganassi doing it.
No.
They're too much in.
No, I couldn't see that. I couldn't see... No. The only other one I could even possibly see would be Penske.
Potentially.
That's the only other American team that has not just the financial backing, but the motorsports ideology and understanding.
Right. So Andretti wants to get into F1. They're going to be in the top class of IMSA. They're already a really, really good Indy team. We know that. We've known that for a long time. It feels like you're starting to pull yourself too thin, in my opinion. But let's talk about this GM Cadillac deal. Because what this did is he could have not announced this for a while, actually. This, I believe, had been behind closed doors for a long time.
And I think that's probably where it should have stayed for a while longer.
Right. But the reason that this was announced was to put pressure on the F1 paddock to, in essence, make a decision. Do we allow this or not? And from what we're hearing in the F1 paddock and in the rumor mill, this doesn't look good for Mr. Andretti.
Yeah, I feel like, now, we obviously are not in the F1 paddock, but from what we're gathering, it seems like this is very not well received.
No, word travels pretty quickly. When he was down in Miami in the F1 paddock trying to get signatures, he got 2 teams to sign on. Those 2 teams were McLaren and who's the other one? Alpine. Now, Alpine is in an interesting spot where we believe that Alpine is going to supply the Cadillac engine for this car?
Kind of. Because Alpine, I believe, is owned by Renault. And Renault is the one that's technically supplying the engine for So, the Andretti Cadillac Renault Alpine team.
Oh, boy. Long story short, there is, at this point, one team that is supporting this new entry into F1.
Yeah, because didn't McLaren, renounce their support?
From what I've heard, McLaren got a call from Mercedes, which is their, partner along with their engine group, and they said, hey, you need to not support Andretti coming in. So they've rescinded, as much as they can, their approval of this Andretti entry into F1, which means it's seeming unlikely. Now, the odd part here is that from the tweets that are coming out of the head of the FIA, I can't remember his name, you look that up.
I'll find it.
The head of the FIA has been tweeting.
FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem.
Yes. He has been tweeting to try to get this in. And if we look at it from his lens, he just wants more teams in F1. Because more teams in F1 mean bigger, more cars.
More money.
More sponsors, another manufacturer. That all sounds great to him.
Well, of course.
The other teams, this is not as good through their lens, which is another competitor, someone else taking engines from another engine manufacturer. And let's think about the schedule here, because the schedule is fascinating right now.
Okay.
Next year in F1, there will be how many races in the U.S.?
Ooh, I did not think about that aspect of it. There's Miami, COTA, and then Vegas.
3 races in the U.S. Remember when we didn't have any races in the U.S. for a while?
Yeah.
Until COTA came along, there were no races for many years.
Because for a while it was Indy. We had Indianapolis. The U.S. Grand Prix was at Indy, the road course at Indy, and that was okay.
Right.
And I remember watching that when Michael Schumacher was racing. And then we had nothing. Then we had COTA. And now we went from COTA exploding to 3 Grand Prix.
That's a lot. Honestly, too many. My opinion, way too many.
I
2
agree.
is fine. 1 is good unless you're trying to dominate the U.S. market, which it sounds like F1 really wants a big pie out of the U.S. market.
It seems like it. It seems like F1 is trying to steal Indy's market.
Which Andretti kind of he's kind of wedging himself in there, saying, I see that you're trying to steal the IndyCar / F1 market, right? Because they're kind of the overlapping fan bases. I'd say, I don't know the percentage, but my best guess is like 20 to 30% of Indy guys watch F1.
I see your point.
It's my best guess. I don't have any numbers to back that up.
Yeah.
Just the feel of being in the paddock of both. It's they're trying to take the U.S. market, and if you're another team you're looking at this and saying, why would we allow an American manufacturer and an American-based team, because let's be real, Haas is not an American-based team, to come in and actually run cars in the U.S. Grand Prix and steal market share from the fans?
Yeah, why would they want one team to have home field advantage 3 times in a season?
Right. Now, it's not the same as like a football game or something like that. Like home field advantage doesn't work like that.
Well, yeah, but you get the point.
The fanfare will be immensely behind Andretti, just like it is in Italy with Ferrari, just like it is in the UK with Mercedes, right? Even though that's a German brand, yada yada. Anyway, it's a little weird there. But
yeah,
3 races in the US. The teams that are currently running would like to take a little bit of that U.S. fanfare. And if they allow this team in, you've not for sure given it up, but you've given up a portion of it, a big portion of it. I can tell you, I would be buying Andretti gear.
Definitely. I'd get a hat.
Yeah. We're American-based viewers watching F1, wishing that somebody had a proper American team.
Yeah. Like this upcoming year, you know who my favorite driver is?
Who?
Logan Sargent.
Right.
He's an American driver. I'm going to pull for him.
Right.
Now, he's racing for Williams, so he's going to get absolutely jack shit, but...
That's fine. That's what Andretti will be for the first few years, most likely. You don't come into F1 and win things. You come into F1 and struggle to even qualify for the race.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't foresee Andretti getting in next year by any means. I don't think it was even on the table. I think this is 2025 or 6 is what they're talking about to try to get him in. But I can see this if they keep the 3 races a year in America, which is kind of a big if at this point, to be honest. If they do, they kind of have to bring in an American team.
True.
The fan pressure will be there to bring one in. And I think what the president of the FIA is doing here by tweeting about this is putting the pressure on all the other teams. Because when you look at the list of teams that approve and deny this or don't like it, it's not a good look for the rest of the paddock.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And it's going to put pressure on the rest of the paddock from the fans, which is good, but will that actually make a difference? Most likely not.
That's the next question. Will it do anything?
Over years, yes. Over a month period, not a thing. Not a thing at all. We'll see where this goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still just so confused how Andretti partner with Wayne Taylor Racing and IMSA racing a Honda, yet Honda is racing against Cadillac in that same series where he's also signed a partnership with Cadillac to go into F1. I feel like if you're an executive with one of these companies, there's too many conflicts of interest there.
That's weird.
It just seems... it just doesn't... Something about it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see Andretti in there. I would love to see that. I wish Andretti would go with Ford.
Yeah. I don't think Cadillac's the brand to do it with.
When you think of Cadillac, what do you think about?
Old grandmas?
A little old lady in Florida driving her Cadillac to Publix to get the Publix roasted chicken for the week and cat food. You don't think of a Formula One car.
Political racing?
Fair point.
Some would say the top racing in the world. I would say political racing?
Yeesh.
Yeah. I don't know.
This move just feels interesting.
It's a weird one. I hope it happens. I suspect it's not going to happen. If it does, it's going to take quite the push from the FIA president and Andretti and the fans to make it happen.
Yep. Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. So, ready to move on to one more quick little bit of news?
Sure.
So, last week we lost a legend in the automotive world, Ken Block. So this week, the FIA is actually retiring his number in the WRC, the World Rally Championship.
Perfect.
That's really cool.
That's exactly how that should have been handled.
Yep. The FIA retires the number 43 in honor of Ken Block for the World Rally Championships for 2023. That just makes me feel good that they're doing that.
Yeah. The amount of pull and social media following that he had to put into the World Rally Championship was huge for the American market. It was probably still big in the international market, but especially for the American market. And good on him for doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that little bit of news, I'm happy to see that. Again, respects go out to the Block family.
Yes, indeed.
So, I have good news.
Okay.
There is sports car racing coming back this weekend.
Ooh. And what might that be?
The Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai.
Aha.
Endurance racing is happening this weekend.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, boy.
This is the real beginning of the endurance sports car season.
Yes, this is endurance sports car racing is happening.
And this is a properly good race with some proper GT3 race cars and lots of GT cars and touring cars, as well as some hatchbacks and like GT4 type stuff. It's good racing.
Yeah, so I'm taking a quick look at Spotter's Guide. We've got Mercedes-AMG GTs, BMW M4 GT3s. We've got Porsche 911 GT3Rs. We've got Audi R8 GT3s. We've got Ferrari 488 GT3s. We've got KTM Expos. We have got a Vortex V8. I don't know what that is. We've got some Cup cars. We've got GT4 cars. We've got TCRs. I am so excited for this race to start.
Yep. And you can catch all of it on YouTube, on the 24H YouTube channel. They do have the Radio Le Mans guys doing the broadcast, which is fantastic to hear.
I'll be listening to that all weekend.
Yep, all of those guys. And I don't know if this is a split race or not. I don't happen to know. Sometimes 24H will do a 12 to 14 hour session on Friday and then the other one on Saturday, and they'll split the race like that. Sometimes they'll do a full straight through 24. I'm not sure.
Believe, if I'm looking at this correctly, they are doing let's see.
Don't remember off the top of my head.
Saturday, let's see. Qualifying race. Okay. 24H series race, start race, and end race. Looks like it's straight through.
Yep, looks like it is straight through, which is awesome.
Sweet.
Yep. Good for them.
Yes. So excited for endurance racing to be back. Mm-hmm. And then shortly after this is back, guess what else is happening?
Oh, couple weekends away.
The Rolex
at Daytona International Speedway.
If you're going to be at the Rolex, please hit us up. We will be there. We will chat racing and probably talk shit about your favorite car.
Sounds great.
So, yeah.
Hit us up. We'll definitely be there.
Yeah, definitely. So that's going to wrap us up for episode 162. Thanks so much for watching and listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, please do leave a thumbs up and drop a comment on the video. Let us know your thoughts about the Andretti Cadillac F1 nonsense. If you're listening on audio, send us your thoughts via social. Facebook is We Are Auto. YouTube is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. And our website is weareauto.io, where you should definitely go catch some of your favorite past races from last year and years past.
All 24H.
Yeah, 24H is
the
up
whole
there.
Season.
You got it. So again, thanks so much. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.